Alright. Alright, let's do a little review. So this is Broforce, and I love this game. This game is fantastic. It's so focused on the gameplay. Um, it harkens back to a lot of like retro shooters, but it's its own thing, because you won't find another retro shooter that's exactly like this. Um, it takes a lot of influence from Contra and Metal Slug, maybe a little bit of Bionic Commando, and I love those games. I didn't play too much Bionic Commando, but I played a lot of Contra and Metal Slug. So, getting influence from those games is incredible. Um, One of the great things about this game is the level design. Um, when I first played this game, I remarked, I asked Chertka if the levels are randomly generated. And the only reason why I asked that is because it uses kind of like when you look at the building blocks for the levels themselves, they're made out of like pretty basic looking building blocks, so to speak. So, like at first glance, you might believe that it would be randomly generated, or it would be something they could randomly generate. But when you actually play it, the levels are so well designed. This game could have easily been too easy or too hard, but they designed the levels in such a way that it strikes a perfect balance. And there's more than one way to reach the goal. And I really like that. I like how there's like multiple different approaches, and if one approach is not really working out so well, you can go down a different path and see if that works out for you. And it one of the things that helps facilitate that is the destructible environments. There aren't too many 2D games that have destructible environments. Like, destructible environments are usually the domain of like 3D games. I honestly can't even think of any other 2D game off the top of my head that has destructible environments. I'm sure there are. Um, and with the destructible environments, you can like make holes like this and like create new passageways to help make levels more, make them a little easier. If you're getting stuck on something, you have another option. It's not over. This game is very challenging, but it's not frustrating challenging. It never feels unfair, so to speak. Um, it helps balance the challenge out by having lots of different characters, and they double as different lives, and some characters are more powerful than others, and it's randomly generated, so you might not have a great character on one run, but then you die and then you start again and you get, a much better character. So stuff like that helps kind of the favor, tip the balance in your favor from time to time. And when you die, you restart quickly, and the checkpoints are frequent, and they also have some checkpoints so that if you die completely and get a game over, you can start there. So I like that. It is well balanced to the point of where it never feels like you just want to give up. The gunplay is great. Like there's so many different characters with different guns, and they all have different attacks, and it adds an amazing amount of depth for a game with a simple premise. The characters themselves are, it has like, it's oozing masculinity and testosterone. They're all really cool. Lots of great homages to classic 80s action movies and 90s action movies. And despite being called Broforce, I'm glad they added some female characters. Um, I counted at least 3, and there's probably more. So, I really commend them for, like adding, more female characters into a game that's so, masculine oriented, um, in a fun and endearing way. It's a very funny game. Just hearing the names of like the bros is funny, and it actually makes me want to watch some of these movies that I missed out on. We got the Predator. That's perfect. Um, I love the graphics. The graphics are so cool. They're so retro looking, but at the same time, very, 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 very beautiful. Um, they're simple but sophisticated at the same time. The control is perfect. You could complain a little bit about how you can't shoot up and down, but the levels are balanced for that. And I'm guessing that if they made it so that you could shoot up and down, it would probably imbalance the game, I guess. Like maybe make it a little bit too easy to like drill holes into the walls so that you could cheese a level. That's probably why they did that. And I would have liked to be able to aim up and down, but I can understand why they didn't do it. So it's not a big deal. The music's great, sounds great, sounds good. I really can't even think of anything to complain about. There's really nothing to complain about other than the fact that some of the bros aren't that good, like this guy right here. I don't like him, but it's a different playstyle. He can whip onto walls and things like that. Indiana Jones, even if he's not very powerful, they usually have something else to kind of compensate for their weaknesses. And sometimes you'll have a challenge, a boss or something, where some bros aren't so great at it, but other bros are really good at it that normally aren't good. So that's kind of neat. And they all have like an alternate attack, so that also adds to the variety. I think the enemies are really cool, well designed. Right now we're fighting like aliens. I think that's obviously a homage to the movie Aliens, but it's also a homage to Contra, which was also inspired by Aliens. When you're fighting all the military guys, that's a homage to Metal Slug. So it's like, if you're a retro whore, you're gonna love this game. Yeah, I mean, like, I honestly can't think of anything negative to say about it. Um, I love it. It's a fantastic game. It, and I would love to replay this game again. And it's the perfect length too. It's for especially for an indie game with a healthy challenge. It's not too long, not too short. And if you do want more, I believe there's user maps that you can play as well. And it has a level editor, which is fantastic, so you can play more levels if you want. I love it. Broforce is for bros and for girls. And that's all I gotta say.